We now turn our attention to golf and the upcoming US Open tournament being held at Winged Foot. It's the 6th US Open that's been held at this course. It's a par 70, 7,477 yards. We've got a 144-man field, so it's going to be a test to pick out a winner. But we're going to do our very best. We're going to look for the value in the betting, try and get the best value prices. Looking at the course, narrow fairways, very thick rough, greens well defended by bunkers. There was a winning score in 2006 of 5 over par. That was Jeff Ogilvy. Got it done, 5 over, very high score. So that lets us know this isn't a course for the faint-hearted. It's likely to be a tough test. I'm sure the USGA will want the US Open to live up to its billing as one of the toughest tournaments going, if not the toughest tournament. So it should be a test. Length is important as it is in any tournament. I think you've got to look at length more than accuracy in this sort of course. Accuracy is obviously important, but if you want to actually compete in tournaments held at this course, you've got to be getting it out there. You've got to be getting it down there. It's a very big advantage. And well, we saw recently a tournament like that was Bethpage Black, the USPGA 2019. Brooks Koepka won that tournament, and we really did see a premium on distance in that. The top two there was Koepka, second Dustin Johnson, and they were really the two that looked in command on that course. Koepka won by 2. I think Johnson was then clear of third place for about a couple of strokes. So it really was dominated by, some of the most powerful players in the game, and I think that'll be the case this time. So we'll be looking at that, looking for players with that capability. You'll need a good short game as well. Scrambling's going to be important. I think Bethpage Black, that tournament in 2019, the USPGA, it gives us a guide as to what's going to happen in this one. That tournament was won by big hitters who were able to gain an advantage off the tee, and when they got into trouble, it was the players who had a soft touch and were in form around the greens and were able to get up and down more often than not. They were the players that did well, so we'll be looking for players of that sort of profile. Obviously, greens and regulation is going to be important, especially with these greens that they've defended with bunkers all the way around the course. But we'll definitely be looking for drivers, and definitely good drivers of the ball and good scramblers. That'll be the things that I'll be looking to focus on. So let's get straight onto it. There's the usual people that are always at the top of the market at short prices, and they deserve to be. I think Dustin Johnson's the favourite. He's in form. He's the world number 1. Very powerful player, as just mentioned, on a course with the same sort of requirements. Bethpage Black, he did well. I've seen 7 to 1 around. You can get 10 to 1. It depends how many places you're betting on. I'm going to go for Sky Bet, which is 11 places. I think that's the biggest a number of places you can get. But obviously you might be able to get better prices elsewhere, maybe on the Betfair exchange, or with a bookie who's providing less places. They tend to offer you a better price. And similarly, if they offer more places, they reduce the price to account for the number of places they're offering. So bear that in mind. Shop around with whatever odds you go for, and but with 11 places out there, it's hard to look past that. If I was being asked for a winner, I would go for DeChambeau at 18 to 1. There are shorter numbers available in the betting. Dustin Johnson's one of them. I think Justin Thomas is another. Rory McIlroy is pretty low in the betting as usual. And that is Xander Schauffele, who has a good chance to win the tournament. He's got all the right attributes, but his price seems really short in this tournament. I've seen sort of 12, 14 to 1 about, and I think that's on the short side, really. So I'm going to be looking for the best value I can get in terms of going for an out-and-out win bet. And my out-and-out win bet would be DeChambeau. He's got the power. We know he's been in the gym. We know he hits the ball miles. Don't know if he's cooled down a little bit recently, but certainly going back a couple of weeks and in recent months, he really was the player to watch. Booming the ball out there, looking really in control of his game. But with the sort of form he's been in the last few months, I can't leave him out. And I think of the short prices, that would be the one I'd be looking for. So I'd be going for DeChambeau. The next I've got in the betting, Patrick Cantlay, 25 to 1 on an 11 place basis. A lot of people have been looking at him for a long time as a potential major winner. He's got the attributes to win on this course. I think he's going to be winning at some point. You'd put him in a similar category to Schauffele, who I just mentioned. Not winners of majors yet, but they've got the credentials. We've been looking at them for a long time. So if I had the choice to look at the two prices of Schauffele, at 12 to 1 on this 11 place basis and Countley at 25. I would take the 25. They've probably cooled on him a little bit. I don't think he performed so well in the last major, but I haven't given up on him. He's got the credentials, so I'll look towards him. Next, we'll go for Patrick Reed, former Masters champion. You can get him at 33 to 1, 11 places. Tidy game, former major winner. We've seen him playing in the Ryder Cup. We know he's got tenacity. He's not the hugest hitter in the world, but he gets it out there sufficiently to be competitive on this course. And with all the other skills he has in his game, I think he'll do well. So I'll go for Pat Reed, 33 to 1. Jason Day certainly has the power to impose himself on a course which has a requirement for distance. Former major winner. And at 33 to 1, I think he poses a reasonable proposition here. I can see that it's not the best price in the world. I have seen 40 to 1 elsewhere. I think I may have even seen a bit more than that, but with less places on offer, certainly less than 11. But on the basis I'm going, Reed and Day both added 33 to 1. Going to also add Justin Rose at 40 to 1, former US Open champion at Merion. He hits the ball plenty long enough, but the main thing with him is he always finds the short grass with that lovely rhythm he's got in this game. We know his credentials, Olympic champion. You know, very important player in the Ryder Cup team, just consistent every time. Been around for a long time. We can think of him being the low amateur at Royal Birkdale in 1998. So he's been around a long time, he's got the experience, he knows his way around the US Open track. So we'll go for Justin Rose, 40 to 1. Also, going to stay with Casey, Paul Casey. Very powerful player, in control of his game, huge experience. Yet to win a major, but he's been playing very well recently. He's always keeping it in play. He's very smart around the course, very good course management. I think 50 to 1 is a pretty good number relative to other numbers available. We're going to go for Victor Hovland, 50 to 1. Young player that has burst on the scene, hits the ball a country mile, plays with a very nice temperament, smile on his face, very popular player. He's going to win a major sooner or later. It is early in the day. I mean, he's only been around 2 minutes, but what we've seen of him has been so amazing, and the price of 50 to 1 for someone of his age and for someone, you know, who's only been on the tour such a short period of time lets you know what a talent he is. And I think 50 to 1, it's okay. Looking at the other numbers, I'm not going to say it's a massive figure. It could have been a bit more, bearing in mind his short tenure in the game, but I don't want to miss out on him. He hits the ball so effortlessly and with such control that I think he could go well on this course. Same's got to be said of the defending champion Gary Woodland at 60 to 1. I think it'd be silly to leave him out at that sort of price. He's obviously the defending champion, so he knows how to win a major, big hitter of the ball. It'll all be about putting for him. If his putting is reasonable, then he could compete. He scrambled ever so well at Pebble Beach in 2019. Really was assured, showed he had the mental toughness to win a major. You know, there's a lot of adversity. You know, winning over 4 rounds is not easy on a US Open course. And he did really well, so I'm not going to leave him out at 60 to 1. Then we've got a 90 to 1 selection, which is Bubba Watson. Now, he's not done too well in US Opens, to be quite honest with you. Certainly in the last few years. But, you know, he has won the Masters a couple of times. And we know what he's capable of. He hits the ball miles. The issue is going to be control. You know, he's got a lovely short game. Can he control his game? Is it a week where he's on? If it is, he'll have a chance. If not, then, you know, he'll probably miss the cut, as he has done in 5 of his last 6 starts at the US Open. So I'm just letting you know that 90 to 1 is a pretty juicy price on an 11 place basis, but there are warnings with Bubba Watson, so I'll let you know that. But I'm going to focus on the good sides of his game, and the premium on length here brings him into the frame. So I'm going to go with Bubba Watson, 90 to 1. And I think that completes my sort of serious selections. If someone was going to ask me who's going to win, I'd say DeChambeau. The last selections I've just given, ranging between sort of 25 and 90 to 1. I would say these are my sort of each way middling stakes bets. It's like the winner's likely to come from that sort of range in odds. I mean, if you look at the average of recent winners of US Open in terms of odds, you're talking about 43 to 1. That's been the average price. So you're probably looking in that middling range in terms of finding a winner. Obviously, it's easy to go for the short prices, but then you don't get the value. But in terms of the high prices, in terms of a bit of a long shot range, looking for extreme value, I would come in at around, what should we say, 150 to 1. So we've got Matt Wallace. Matt Wallace been playing well in majors recently. His general form hasn't been great. He's got a lot of ability. He's another player who hits the ball a country mile. He's got a nice rhythm in his swing, and that enables him to have a certain amount of control. Seems to be able to raise his game for the majors, much like a Koepka. And I can see him winning a major at some stage. He hasn't been showing those signs recently, to be quite honest with you. But if you look at his major record, he has got lovely stats in majors, and the price sort of reflects that he's not in the best form. If you look at his stats, he would be definitely under 50 to 1, or under 66 to 1, let's say. He's at 150, there's value there. And when you're getting 11 places, it's hard to leave him out, to be honest. So we're going to go for Matt Wallace, 150 to 1. Branch Snedeker, 175 to 1. It's been quite a frustrating player for me to bet on in the past. He's not the biggest hitter. He's a tidy player, which, you know, if you listen to what I've been saying, probably counts him out. But everyone's picked this guy at one time or another. I've picked him a couple of times. Hasn't really followed through for me, but 175 to 1's a big figure, and he's held in such high esteem in the game as being a good, tidy, solid player that his time will come. And it wouldn't surprise me if he hit every fairway and every green, you know, and the putter got hot and he actually put in a challenge for this title. So 175 to 1, I'll go Branch Snedeker. We've also got Thomas Pieters, 150 to 1. He's a guy that, when it's on, he's a pretty young player. When it's on, he can really perform. He's a very big hitter of the ball. I've actually seen him hit the ball in person at Wentworth a couple of years ago. And when he hits the ball, it stays here. I think I saw him hit a 6-iron off the tee, and it just seemed to go on forever. You know, the distance was like it hit a wood, and so effortlessly as well, and nonchalantly. Has he proven that he's got the steel to win a major? Probably not. You know, there's a lot of people who back him on the European tour. He's obviously full of talent. Does he win the number of tournaments that he should? Probably not. But when you've got that raw talent and ability, it only takes him to string together 4 days of, you know, decent ball striking, and, you know, he's in the frame. And in a course which is a premium on distance, I think I'd go for him. I've definitely gone for him on the first round leader market. I mean, sometimes you have players that, you know, have ability and have got that streaky ability. You know, they play well sometimes. Might not be able to string together 4 rounds, but, you know, on any given round, they can go low. And so I've gone for Pieters on the first round leader market, but I'd also go for him on the outright, because you never know. And at a price like 150 to 1, you don't have to put down a lot. And 11 places, even better. So Thomas Pieters is there. Now we're really getting into it. We've got 3 absolute rank outsiders we're going for. Max Homa, 300 to 1. 11 places. He's won on the PGA Tour. He's got a lot of ability. He's a well-liked guy on the tour. He's gonna have to feel it this week to actually compete. In recent weeks, he hasn't done that much, but I have seen him turn it on in a final round. I have seen him win before on the PGA Tour. He's got the ability. 300 to 1 is a bit of a punt out there, but when it's each way 11 places, why not have a go? Same applies for Ryan Fox. Big hitter of the ball, well, mighty hitter of the ball. It's probably a better description. You know, is he going to keep it together for 4 rounds? I don't know, but I'm prepared to find out at 300 to 1 with a small stake each way. And the same for Kurt Kitayama. He's a talent on European Tour. Again, hits the ball a country mile. Very controlled player when he's in the mood. He's got a lot more experience to pick up, that's obvious, but that's reflected in the price of 400 to 1. So again, you can have a small stakes on that each way. So I've mentioned quite a few names here, which I know some people have a problem with on these review videos, but there's 140 odd players in the field, so singling out one isn't easy. If you were going to ask me for one, I've said that, Bryson DeChambeau. That'd be the one I'd go for, but generally there's a lot of value there. It's a US Open week. It's going to be a tough test. It's going to be enjoyable. Enjoy it when you watch it. Please give any comments as to who you think will win. Please give any comments as to who you think has that each way value. Enjoy the tournament, and I'll see you next time.